Away we go here on the ML Sports Platter, all brought to you by Stanley Law Offices and Liverpool Physical Therapy. I brought on ESPN, NHL, and NESN Red Sox broadcaster on occasion, my good man, Mike Monaco. Superstar in the rising and broadcasting. It's such a treat to have you, my friend. I haven't seen you since the Buffalo game. How you doing?
Yeah, Mike, it's great to see you. I don't know about that descriptor, but I appreciate you having me. Yeah, it's always good working with you and chatting with you as well. So fired up to talk to you.
Well, we love listening and watching. I probably understated a little bit, to be honest with you. And the last couple of years, in no particular order, four nations, Ovechkin goal chase. The games are great, young, fast, skill. The cup last year goes 3-0 Florida to all the way to a game 7 with McDavid, the face of the league. They play the game 7. The Kachuk brothers are like media stars now. Crosby, 20 straight seasons, averaging a point a game. I could go on and on. How much of a heater do you think this league is really on right now? I mean, my gosh, it's on fire, is it not?
Yeah, I think hockey's in an incredible spot as a sport, and then the league specifically, the NHL, is in a great position. Look, I mean, like this is the best time of the year, if we're being honest. Like playoff hockey is incredible,
It is.
and there's nothing better than it. There might be things in the same vicinity of it, but certainly not better. I was, getting ready to do a Seattle Kraken game on Tuesday. The game was Tuesday night. They were playing the LA Kings. We were out there in Seattle. And I ran into a guy at the hotel gym and we were just chatting. And he was asking if I was in town for work. And then he asked what I did and yada, yada. He said he was there to watch his first ever hockey game in person in his life. Guy from Portland, Oregon. There's no, NHL team up there, obviously, but he's not far from Seattle. And his wife got tickets. And so they were going to the game. And I said to him, like, there is not a better sport, in my opinion, to go watch in person from an entertainment perspective.
Yep.
And so I hope he had a great experience. I didn't see him afterward. But yeah, I think hockey's in an awesome spot, fired up for these playoffs. I do a lot in the Western Conference in particular. It feels like every series in the Western Conference first round could be the Western Conference final. So super excited to get it started. There's really nothing like it. Had the great fortune of being a part of a handful of playoff series last year. And the atmospheres are just unreal. Like Vancouver was nuts. Winnipeg in the past has been just insane with the whiteout when I've been fortunate enough to be there. Vegas, Dallas, like you name it, they're all awesome. So can't wait to get started.
Well, you recently had the Kings as well. And they're a team that's built up the middle. They have a history, maybe 10, 12 years, the last 10, 12 years of winning a Stanley Cup or two. They have veterans. They have Hall of Fame guys. The kid Byfield, I love. And they're built up the middle, and I think they're deep enough to really make things difficult for other teams. And they get on the forecheck. Their special teams are respectable. How dangerous are they right now? I know them and the Oilers have played together, and you're smiling now. You know where I'm going with this. So, but they've played multiple times in Edmonton. It's hard keeping McDavid and Draisaitl down. I get it. But you play a team enough times, maybe. You lose the Masters enough. You lose majors enough. Maybe you make, you miss the putt, make the putt, and you finally do the Grand Slam. You see where I'm going with? I mean, the Kings, how dangerous are they right now? Kopitar, Kempe. I like this team, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot to like. I agree with you, Mike. I think it's probably the best position they're in to take down potentially Edmonton. I don't know. Like you're right. Like McDavid, Draisaitl, like that is scary to go up against. There's a lot of question marks injury wise with Edmonton. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty good health wise. Edmonton, that is, outside of their best all around defenseman, Matthias Ekholm, their best shutdown defenseman for sure.
Yeah.
So that's a big loss. I think where the Kings are in a better position than they have been the previous 3 years, getting knocked out by the Oilers in the first round 3 years in a row. The goaltending's better this year. Darcy Kemper should be a Vezina finalist. He had an incredible season. The power play, which struggled for so much of the season since the trade deadline, has been about league average, actually a tick better than league average. A lot of that has to do with Andrei Kuzmenko, who they traded for at the deadline. So there's a lot to like. I think it's going to be a really, really good series. And yeah, I've seen a lot of the Kings. I've seen a lot of the Oilers this year. I've seen them in the playoffs in those series the last couple of years. And if I make my way out there, I can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt. ESPN NHL broadcaster, a little bit of the Red Sox on NESN. Mike Monaco is our guest. You can catch him on the ESPN platforms and also get ESPN Plus on the streaming side as well. Alexander Ovechkin, I mean, he did it. It was amazing. I'm a lot older than you, don't forget that. But I never thought for years it was even possible that this could be the case, that he could break this goal record. Two-parter on Ovi. How long does he go? And how many does he score? I mean, he keeps himself in great shape, even though he's pounding Coors Lights left and right. He doesn't mind mentioning that, by the way. But 1,000 goals? I mean, he's 39, but we've seen Chara, we've seen Chelios. These guys are ridiculous in terms of their physical fitness. Can he go to 41, 42 and score 1,000? Is that possible?
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't bet against him.
Me either.
I wouldn't be surprised, like next year, is that it? Who knows? Like, he's done it. He's going to get to 900. He averages about 49, I think it is, per year, over 82 for his career. So
39.
Let's say we're looking at another 50, at least through next season. And yeah, who knows? Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, and you can't bet against the guy. It's incredible, like, what he eats and still performs this way. Like, he gets a Subway Italian footlong, spicy Italian footlong with Flamin' Hot Cheetos before he gets on the team plane, the day before every game.
Every time.
He drinks soda during games. The water bottles have soda in them. His pregame meal when they're at home is chicken parm, chicken Alfredo from the same place. Like, it's incredible. So, I'm not going to bet against the guy who's done what he's done. Oh. And look, like the other thing about this is, I know he broke his leg this year and, missed a handful of games or whatever it was, 15 games around there. The guy's indestructible and super durable. Like, he doesn't miss games. And even that, though he missed some, he was still back in an absurdly quick amount of time. You won't find me betting against Alex Ovechkin.
Amazing. In the East, you've got the Panthers. They're defending champs. They've been to 2 in a row, but we know how hard it is to get back. The preseason, the regular season, the grind, the travel, 82 games in the regular season, and that Stanley Cup thing, blood, sweat, guts, and tears every game. I mean, is just buckle up because you're going to get stitches somewhere, right? You've got them. I think the Lightning right now, I got to tell you, they look scary. Again, with Vazzy is playing great, and Kucherov I still think is the most underrated superstar of them all. I love him. Point, a lot of guys who've been there, Hedman, and they're deep enough, and, they're Tampa. You can never count them out. How do you see this power ranking thing in the East? I mean, I almost kind of think it's like maybe three teams, and if it's anybody else, we're kind of surprised. Is Carolina going to be there after those wild trades they made? Where does this land for you in terms of the East picture-wise, power ranking-wise? In Florida, I think being the big, talking point because of what they've done. They're a destination now, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with a ton of what you just said. Like, Matthew Tkachuk, he has said, like, he hopes to be ready for the start of the playoffs. Like, boy, would that be something. I think for me, like, Toronto, I still put in there as well. They're playing a different brand under Craig Berube as the head coach this year. Okay. They're more defensive minded. They're not as high scoring as they've been. They still have the superstars. Obviously, they have a lot of history working against them. So that's something they will need to overcome in that market. But I put Tampa. I agree with you on Kucherov. Like, the guy's incredible. He is rightly a Hart candidate on the very short list this year, like he is every year, putting up absurd points right there with Nathan McKinnon. Florida, yeah, with what they've done the last few years, how could you bet against that? Washington, like, let's not sleep on Washington, who's been the best team in the Eastern Conference all year. We just talked about Ovechkin, but Spencer Carberry, man, like, that to me is the Jack Adams winner. Yeah, easy. He's an incredible coach. And I think we knew that last year when, he dragged them to the playoffs. No disrespect to the roster, but, like, he's that good. And then Carolina, man, I know they didn't keep Rantanen. I know they they lost what they lost. They lost Natchez. They lost Jack Drury. Those are two guys who were playing a big part of Colorado, by the way. But man, like Rod Brindamore, they've got a system there that works. And, I'm not willing to bet against them. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is at some point, I think they're going to break through. And I don't know when that's going to be, but I'd put them in that clump in the East as well for having a really good shot at coming out of the East.
Yeah, if they get a little bit more goaltending from what I've seen, they can hang in there. And yeah, I left the Caps out because I'm nervous. But they did do, God, those moves in the offseason, everything they've done, everything from the goaltender on to Strome to all these other guys the last 18 months or so, all of them have worked to perfection. And that's part of the reason why they're here. Final one for you. I've already held you probably a minute long or so. We'll switch to the baseball side. You know me, I'm a Yankee guy technically. And by the way, I was going to ask you about giving me some hope for the Sabres, but I'm just going to leave them out. I can't even go down the road, man. I'm a Yanks guy, obviously, but a baseball guy through and through. And the Red Sox, a really interesting start to the season, right? I mean, they got a couple of young guys here, but what do you see here that's sustainable and what's not in terms of trying to maybe squeak into the wild card and what I think is another just really awful, weak American League. I mean, last year was weaker than weak, and I think that's what really contributed a lot to the Yankees even making the World Series. They only had to go through the Guardians and the Royals. You had a down Astro team, down Oriole team, on and on it goes. But from a Red Sox perspective, what floor ceiling here for this year, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, look, there was a ton of excitement coming into this year with the Red Sox, what they did in the offseason, the roster undeniably in a better place. They haven't pitched well so far. I mean, it's obviously a very small sample size. The offense overall has been solid. The defense has really struggled. But look, it is a small sample size, and I think there's a ton to like about what they did with the roster. They're going to get healthier in terms of their pitching. They knew, coming out of spring training that they were not anywhere close to 100% with their pitching. Christian Campbell's a really exciting young player. Alex Bregman has raked so far. He's coming off a 5-hit game on Tuesday. Wilyer Abreu, I think, is a really underrated two-way talent in this game. Garrett Crochet has been awesome. He's coming off a really good one, carried a no-hit bid deep into that one. And I think some of the other pitching will stabilize. I think they got to get Tanner Houck right, guy who was obviously super impressive, last year, made 30 starts at an ERA in the low threes, has always been talented. But yeah, I think there's a ton to be excited about with the Red Sox still, even with the start, 20 games in so far.
I lied. Last 15 seconds. Give me your Stanley Cup prediction. Who makes the finals? Who wins?
That's a good question. That is the East is tough to say. I mean, the West is too. Like I said, everything in the West is going to be difficult.
The Blues could be. They're really good too. Blues.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dallas, Colorado, whoever comes out of that, I think it's going to take a real toll on them.
Me too. Vegas is sitting there going, "Cool, man, cool. Keep play. Go 7 games." That's what Vegas is saying.
Yeah. Yep. And look, Edmonton still is a really good roster, and you still have McDavid and Draisaitl. You know what? I'm going to say Colorado comes out of the West. I love the moves they made. They totally reinvented their goaltending in December and late November over a 10-day span. They revamped the roster. They got 3 new centers behind McKinnon. So give me Colorado in the West. In the East,
you're going Canes. I can feel it.
I don't think I am. Similar to what you said, Anderson, Kochetkov, a little too much of a question mark, I think, for me. If I really wanted to be bold, I would say Toronto.
Right. Could you imagine Caps in Colorado with Ovi and McKinnon and Makar?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to be different. I'm going to say Toronto.
Paul Bisson, that's got you on speed dial.
Yeah, give me Toronto. I like it.
All right. Very cool. ESPN NHL broadcaster, does some Red Sox with NESN. Mike Monaco, our guest here on the ML Sports Platter, an amazing talent out there. So make sure you follow him on all the social platforms. And, of course, watch the Stanley Cup Playoffs on ESPN and all the platforms, including the streaming on ESPN+. It's all brought to you by Stanley Law Offices and Liverpool Physical Therapy here on the MLSP. Mike, thank you so much, man. We'll talk soon. All right.
Mike, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.